Hello everyone, my name is Andrew and I am one of the developers at Zelgert Games. As many of you may be aware, Conquest 1.5.0 dropped today, and of course, as you may have guessed, this video is to explain what's changed, what is new, and what you need to know. So once again, you have found me in the editor, which is a very fun place to be. But I'm going to be explaining not just 1.5.0, but I'm also going to be explaining everything since 1.4.0, because a lot has changed. I'm going to go here. So you're going to notice a few things have changed since the last time I talked about something like this on YouTube. Firstly, this button is now here. This button's attributes have changed, and the very obvious thing, multiplayer is no longer in existence. So what happened? As you can read on the bottom, multiplayer functionality is undergoing major changes and is currently unavailable. For those that know what the Think framework is, then you know exactly what I'm talking about, and you can understand why it's a little finicky. So, Think is still a beta framework, and we're trying to switch away to something that supports more options, so we're in the process of doing that right now, and it's taking a little bit longer than we anticipated. But anyway, on to things. Currently, you can still play a solo version of the game if you so desire. Let's go and press this button, which used to be the leaderboard button. Now it is an account button. This information is saved locally onto your machine. So if I just type my name, Andrew, right here, if I exit, it'll say, "Welcome, Andrew," and it will remember this when I log out, which is pretty cool. Now, another thing I can do is I can view the leaderboard, which is a pretty cool thing to do. I can clear my data if I really want to. I can view my achievements, which we'll get to that in a moment, my personal record, and I can even view the stats from my previous session. Now, because this is a fresh install of Conquest, or in this case, it's a preview, we don't have any stats. In fact, it says, "Dost thou think they've been inscribed in songs yet?" Which is the game's way of saying, you haven't played yet, go do that first. So, why would you want to play again? Good question. If we press this button right here, it'll take us to a new scene called the Achievements scene. And this place right here, we can click the tiles here, these little icons, and we can look around at all the achievements that Conquest offers. Now, as you can see, there are a lot of these. And each one of these trails is for something different. So, like, for example, this area with the weird loop, this is monsters. So, as you play the game more, this monster is the hardest to defeat. If we go back here, we have an explorations path, which goes this way, and starting here, these achievements were added just in 1.5.0, so just added today. These achievements right here will remain locked even once you defeat Gongle. So that's a very important thing to note, that these achievements right here, starting here, are not going to unlock immediately. You're going to have to do some extra things to find those. And there's stuff down here too that's all over the place. There's magic over here, lots of stuff. But as you can see, it says defeat Gongle to unlock achievements. When you're exploring in the game, you may encounter mysterious portals. Or in my case, portal, because I unfortunately have a typo here. I'm going to write that down. Add it to the bug report, folks. Add it to the bug report. But in this case, we have a portal, and you can right-click to enter it. If you do this, it'll take you to the Ovilands. Previously, the Ovilands were a location on the ground, but now the Ovilands are actually their own terrain generation. And of course, you can meet all the fantastical creatures in the Ovilands just like before. Something new, though, is now there are sky tiles. Let's see if I can get one to generate here. Oh, there we go. These are sky tiles. So because the Ovi Isles are floating islands in the sky, we have clouds with the tiles for the main map down below. If you kind of look, you can kind of see the terrain generation, which is pretty cool. So ever so often, you're going to encounter these as chunks of the map that are missing, which is pretty cool. In a future update, we hope to make these so that you fall through if you stay on these for too long. Another thing that's changed is now you can pick locked doors, which is really cool. And I don't think I'm going to be able to demonstrate that in this video, but all you need to know is it's the same as picking a locked chest. The only difference is it is literally 3 times harder because we upped the number of bits that detect inside of the lock. So that's pretty cool. Now, if we do some investigating in this area, let's see. I'm actually gonna see. Oh, wow, I found it on the first try. All right. Well, now is a great time to talk about version 1.5.0 because this is where things change right here. It's the time staff. So I am going to equip the time staff by throwing it into my inventory, like so. Now you may notice something weird here. It has 1,000 damage, but it did not affect my attack. That's because that 1,000 damage isn't used as attack damage. It's used for something else. Now we'll get to that in a moment. So if we keep going outside of the Ovi lands and we just keep exploring. Ah, here we go. Here is a new monster, the Clocksworth. Now the Clocksworth actually has an achievement attached to it. If you kill this guy, you get points, which is always a good thing. Notice he has almost as much health as Gongol Phase 3 does, which is pretty crazy if you ask me. This guy is a precursor to the new item, the Time Staff. So, you're going to find a lot more time monsters in the game now, like the Clocksworth and the Time Serpent, Time Dragon, Time Giant. Like, there's a lot more time things now. And the reason for this is because the Time Staff has a secret. If you right-click the Time Staff, like this, something happened. Now you notice the Time Staff vanished, but the text down here has changed. You're a time traveler. You have traveled back in time to the time of Gongol's conquest. Do you suppose there is anything you can do? So if we look around, it looks like we're back in Thorland, right? Everything's normal. I mean, we can do our investigating, right? Let's take a look. Except it's not normal, because as you can see, there's magma everywhere, and we have desolate buildings that we cannot enter no matter how many times we click it. We have a castle that's on fire. That's because the scene that was described in the prologue of Conquest, when you first boot up the game, this is where we've time traveled back to. Now we have tougher monsters. Here's one of the new ones, the Centaur. And we are only in Thorland. There are other biomes in this area that we can explore that predate the current map. It should also be noted that you cannot acquire items while you're time traveling, simply because our comment is you can't mess with the space-time continuum. Here's an evil rabbit. And you can unlock achievements doing this too, like trading with a mermaid, I do believe, is one of the achievements. And you can find mermaids actually in Makondora. So you can do that. And if we keep exploring, alright, here's an example of one of Gongol's army troops. Like, this is his ice battalion. So we can technically attack his entire army if we so desire. We can actually, literally, we can attack this. And as you can see, it is his entire ice army. And this is pretty cool, but there is a catch. Right now we are grossly underpowered for such an attack. Oh, we're fine so far. We're slowly chipping away at them. All right. Come on. Come on. Uh-oh. How has no one died yet? I don't know. We're slowly knocking them out. Oh! All right. So if you read in the corner there, you may have to go back. It said our time double has died. What that means is we are actually pulled back into the present if we die. So that is kind of the caveat of time travel, is you are brought back into the present. This is present-day Thorland with its normal monsters and normal stuff. So that's the only caveat. If you die when you're in the past, you die in the past, and you can't do much about it. Though it should be noted that if you do die in the time, while time traveling, you do get fast forwarded to the Gongle quest. So bear that in mind. But yeah, pretty cool stuff. Hey, I got lucky there. I'm going to display a few new items on the screen. So we have the time staff, and then we have some new monsters, such as, let me see here. We have mermaids, gorgons, fairies, gnomes, griffins, king sheepies, for reasons that will make sense. We have a phoenix, we have a banshee, we have a evil rabbit, shrieker, monstrous catamount, the behemoth, and many more. If you are interested in looking into any of these things, give it a try. Download Conquest 1.5.0 today at zelgertgames.com/conquest. Have a wonderful day, everyone.